Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm Michaela Peters. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about my opinion on being firstborn and parenting and maybe some things that I think are kind of dangerous. Yeah, I'm being super lazy. I yesterday got a facial and I practiced the whole way in the car. It's usually actually what I do to rehearse for my YouTube videos. I do them while I'm driving. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna go do this, but then my face looked terrible, and then I was like, well, I guess it's gonna have to wait until tomorrow, which is now today. Aside from the fact that right now I have a lot of critical stuff going on at work, end of the quarter, now I finally understand what my dad was always freaking out about for all these years, because I guess we both worked, he doesn't anymore, business jobs, and yeah, trying to finish some stuff, but taking a break really quickly to I guess somewhat also announced that I'm leaving pretty soon, and I tend to be one of these people where when I'm about to leave to go somewhere, I start freaking out. I'm going to be away for 10 weeks, so that's a lot. And yesterday I had like one of my OCD moments where I cleaned my whole bathroom and I organized everything in there and I got some stuff together. Harley is fidgety today. I'm going to miss my babies. They better not die while I'm gone. Yeah, but so I'm trying to give them so much love so that they survive another 10 weeks, even though they'll be without me. Yeah, and I don't know, I guess, I learned some things recently, just related to, maybe the situation I have lived in, and I guess I just started thinking about how important it is to this is going to sound very strange, and obviously I'm not a parent, so I feel like I don't really have the liberty to say a lot of these things, but this idea of putting a lot of undue pressure on children when I think, quite frankly, they don't really need that. I feel like we already live, especially in the US, in a very competitive environment, and I think it makes people obsessed with productivity, sometimes to an unhealthy degree, like at the expense of their own psychological and emotional well-being, as well as physical health. And I understand now, like, I had an uncle growing up who was like, oh, you're a firstborn. He was like obsessed with this birth order thing, and I'm like, okay, and I didn't really understand why, but I guess it has to do with the fact that firstborns tend to be overachievers. And I don't know if that's always true, or if it's just that a lot of pressure is put on firstborns, maybe like unfair expectations, I think, a lot of times, because it's like, oh, you have to set the example for the younger ones. I'm gonna be honest, like, people are gonna do what they want to do, and regardless of what example you set as an older sibling, I don't think it really matters. It doesn't matter as much as the example that the parents set for their kids, because going back to the psychological concept by which children of parents will innately crave the approval and validation of their parents, it has nothing to do with having a personality disorder. It is just something that is innate in all of us. I think that, it's much more valuable the example that the parents set rather than the example that older siblings set. And I mean, that's just one thing to consider. But I think by expecting that, oh, the firstborn is supposed to carry a bunch of weight as an expectation for the older kids, I don't really agree with this, also in the sense that I think that it takes away, first off, it's a scapegoat, right? Like, you're wanting to absolve yourself from responsibility of if the kids turn out badly, that, oh, it wasn't my fault, it was the older siblings, which, honestly, when you blame other people, that is a victim mentality thing, and not taking responsibility for things. This is all, like, behavior that's designed to make you unhappy, according to my casual Google searches. And I think it takes away the concept of the fact that children all have free will. Like, I really thought about this as well. Like, I don't really think there are any jobs that my kid could do where I could be that disappointed in them. And even if they wanted to do ones where I would, it's still their choice and their free will. And, I always think about, in the Psychology of Money book, which I have not read that much of, it talks in the beginning about a guy who was one of the first, I guess, investors, really, or like people to become very wealthy in US history back in the 50s or something. And it was a guy who was a janitor who just took all of his income, like, he lived very, like, low key, not a flashy lifestyle at all, and died with a ton of money. I don't think he ever got married. He just, like, left it to, like, science and, like, all these causes he cared about. And I thought that was very admirable. Like, this guy just was, like, casually a janitor, and then he ended up making a lot of money in the stock market as being one of the most successful early on US investors who's just a normal person like you and me. So I don't know. What's that really to say? That I think that this concept of success and, pushing a lot of expectation on your kids, like I think a lot of times parents think that their kids are supposed to somehow meet all of the things that they could never do or they could never be. Like, and I joke with certain things in my family, like everybody in my family is like, does X, Y, and Z. Like, why was I supposed to come out any differently? And I don't know. I just think it's like not fair. And like, that's why there's that stupid saying, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Like, you are going to be a product of the environment and, what you grew up in, especially due to how your parents behaved. So there's all that going on. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I was just really thinking about this, in terms of my future and in terms of my relationship with my parents and in terms of, if I were to ever become a parent. So I don't know. I think I just like want things to be chiller and I want the expectations to stop, but I also realize it's my fault for internalizing a lot of these expectations. But I guess I just want parents to know that, like, as hard as it is to watch your kids not do what you wanted them to do, it's harder for the kid in some ways knowing that they could never meet the expectations of their parents. And if those expectations are very unrealistic and difficult to meet, then it's kind of like everybody loses. And I think that's why it's important to accept things, and that's why there's a saying, like, give me the strength to accept the things I can't change. Like, accepting yourself, accepting the way other people are. Like, I believe that this is all really important. And I guess that's kind of where I'm at today. And maybe this is sort of a mindfulness thing, which I'm trying to get better at. I don't know if you've heard the saying that anxiety is living in the future and depression is living in the past. And we do spend a lot of time in our own minds time traveling. And I really feel like this is me most of the time, and I'm trying to get out of it, but it is so super hard. The only time I feel like I'm not doing that is when I'm concentrating on a task, which even that's been pretty difficult for me lately, if I'm being very honest. So yeah, I have a deadline actually coming up pretty quickly, so I should hop back to that. But yeah, I think just expectations on children, it can be hard, and maybe I just in a way don't think that it's fair, and I don't know. I'm not a parent, and I'm sure when I become a parent, I will understand more things about it, but I really hope that when I become a parent, I'll be able to accept my kid for who they are and not who I wish they would be, and to let them be themselves and express themselves and never feel like there's any sense of shame in who they are or how they feel or what their views are, even if they're different than my own. Because that does happen a lot, and that happens very commonly between generations. So, I guess that's kind of everything I have today. I feel like I had one more point, but I can't really remember it. But yeah, there's just a lot of stuff going on. I had a nice weekend with my friends, even though it took a lot of resources in terms of time and money, and then I didn't want to talk to anybody for a couple days. So yeah, there's all that, and this is my doctor visits time of year, and that's also very annoying. I hate that. Okay, so that's everything. Yeah, I've had people ask me about healthcare. Maybe I'll get into that later since I actually do use my healthcare plan quite a bit. But yeah, so my message to all the parents out there, since, the demographic of people who watch my channel is quite a range, is that, you just gotta, let go sometimes, which I'm not even a good person to take that advice from, because I'm gonna be honest, I'm pretty bad at that too, but yeah, I'm gonna work on it. Apparently all this mindfulness stuff can really change your life for the better, so just, accepting the way things are. I don't know. That's my Zen thing right now, even though I don't look stressed, but I'm totally stressed right now. I got a lot of stuff going on at work. That's why I've been a little bit MIA with this channel. The PhD thing, man, I haven't even been working on that, but it's another thing I need to get to. So yeah, that's everything for today. And until my next video, no idea when that's going to be because of all the traveling, but we'll see. Alright, everybody. I hope you had a nice week, because that's about how long I've been out for. And until my next video, bye.